We've just completed our outside pre-trip. Now we're getting into the truck. Now we're going to do our in-cab portion of the pre-trip. As soon as you get in the truck, first thing you want to do is check your seat. Make sure your seat is adjusted for you. You want to get your seat belt. Make sure the seat belt is properly mounted, it's secured. There's no cut or phrase on my seat belt. Seat belt locks into place. It unlocks and locks into place properly. I'm going to check my mirrors. Make sure my mirrors are adjusted for me. I'm going to check my windshield. Make sure it's properly mounted, it's secured. No CDL and no illegal stickers and no cracks bigger than a quarter. I'm going to check my emergency equipment. Okay, I'm going to check for my fire extinguisher. It's either mounted to the side of me or in my side box, which basically is properly mounted, secured, is fully charged in the green, and is rated 10 BC. I'm also going to check for my 3 reflector triangles. Either could be in the side box or on the side of me here, making sure that they're properly mounted and secured and they're not missing. I'm going to check in my glove box, make sure I got my fuses or circuit breakers, that's whichever the truck may use, in my glove box or either my overhead. Okay? At this time, I'm going to make sure my truck's in neutral. I'm going to conduct a safe start. At this time, I'm going to turn my key on. My key is going to come on. I'm going to check my ABS light. Make sure my ABS light comes on and goes off in my dash. Once that happens, I'm going to start the vehicle up. Making sure it's still in neutral. At this time, I'm going to be checking my gauges. I'm going to check my oil pressure gauge. Make sure my oil pressure is reading between 30 and 60 PSI. I'm going to check my water temperature. Make sure my temperature is reading between 180 and 210. I'm going to check my voltage meter, making sure my voltage is reading between 12 and 14 volts. I'm going to check my fuel and DEF tank, making sure it's reading properly. I'm going to check my air gauges, making sure that they're reading between 100 and 125 PSI. All right, I'm going to turn my lights on. I'm going to check and make sure that my lights are working properly. I'm going to check my left directional, left directional, right directional, my 4-way flashers, and I'm going to also check my high beam, make sure my high beam light indicator comes on in my dash. I'm going to check and make sure my steering has no more than 2 inches of play in my steering. Check my city horn. I'm going to check my air horn. I'm going to check my windshield wipers. Make sure it's working properly, as well as my washer fluid, which is empty. I'm also going to check my defrosting heat. I'm going to turn on my fan. I'm going to put it on for the top. Make sure that the wheel is going on the top. Then I'm going to make sure it's rolling on the bottom. Okay, all that's working properly. So now at this time, I'm going to conduct a tug test. Right now I'm going to tug against my trailer first. Okay, so I'm going to put it in low gear, first gear. I'm going to push in my tractor brake. Now I'm going to tug against my trailer. Tug a couple times. 1, 2. I'm going to pull out my tractor brake, push in my trailer brake, and I'm going to tug against my tractor down. 1. Once you feel it engaged, that's all you got to do. 2. I'm going to push in both brakes now. I'm going to test my service brake. So I'm going to pull up about 5 miles an hour, come to a stop. I'll make sure that the truck doesn't pull left or right. At this time, I'm going to shut my vehicle off. Leave it in gear. I'm going to turn my vehicle back on so I have power to my dash. Now at this time, I'm going to ask the examiner to time me for 1 minute. For that 1 minute, I'm going to hold my foot on this brake, losing no more than 3 PSI for a straight truck or bus, 4 PSI for a combination vehicle. I'm going to ask the examiner to time me. He's going to tell me go. I'm going to put my foot on that brake. You're going to hold that brake for 1 minute. And do not come off that brake until that examiner say, okay, driver, 1 minute is up. Okay, he's going to say, okay, driver, 1 minute is up. You're going to come off that brake. He's going to be listening for that gushy air, knowing that you was on that brake. Then you're going to say to the examiner, now I'm going to fan down between right at around 60 PSI. I should get my low air warning and signal buzzer in my dash. All right, I got my low air warning signal and buzzer right around 60 psi. Now I'm going to continue fanning down between 20 and 45 psi, where now my spring brakes will pop. I'm going to watch these gauges right here and make sure that they pop out. Both gauges has now popped out. That lets me know that my spring brakes has now popped out. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to conduct another safe start. I'm going to put it in gear. I'll take it out of gear, put it back in neutral. I'm going to start the truck back up. And I'm going to build my air pressure back up to 100 to 125 psi. Right around 1100, 1200 RPMs. air tanks are full to capacity. Now I have completed my